to look cool or to make people think that you're the coolest. This doesn't make you feel cool.
People are forgetting about us. Because, if you don't put anything out for a year, you're kind of easily forgotten if you don't already have some sort of status and fame.
AI should be used not to replace what we are doing as artists, but to give us inspiration to do things we couldn't do before.
Okay.
So AI should be used to make things that, as humans, are common.
What's up, my friends? Welcome back to Brodie Nero TV, exclusively on YouTube for now. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. And as always, I'm here motivated, highly motivated to connect with successful minds in the creative industry, particularly music, learn from them, apply it to my own career, thus sharing with you guys, hopefully inspiring you too. Let's keep building this community. So today, really cool episode. I'm here with Agoria. What's up, man?
Thanks for having me, Brodie. Super happy. After a hectic weekend, I'm not sure my brain is really connected yet. Because we're Monday and we had like big parties in Bali.
Yes, back to back.
Back to back, but so happy to be here.
Yeah, cool, man. Well, we'll do our best to make an easy, chill conversation. We got some water on hand to hydrate, hopefully keep focused and have a good time. Before we get started, bro, I want to hit you with a gift.
Oh.
So, I'm wearing Kenny Parker. This gift is from Kenny Parker.
Thank you so much.
And it's an Australian-based brand. They have a boutique shop here in Canggu, so I'd love if you could check out
May I
the
open?
gift.
Yeah.
Please,
oh wow.
Please open.
So we're gonna be real brother now.
Yes. So this is the striped collared button-up.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
I thought it was kind of your style after seeing lots of images online and
elegant.
Yes, but still artsy, some cool colors.
Thank you so much for this present. Thank you.
Yeah, you're most welcome,
Merci
bro.
beaucoup.
Yeah, de rien. So, bro, this is not your first time in Bali. I believe you performed at Morbito a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was curious, now that you've played at some different venues and had experienced the ever-growing and evolving Bali music scene, what's your thoughts on the scene here and its evolution?
Every time is different. And that's also why I love to be a DJ, that I love to travel every weekend. It's like, even if you come back to a place where, you have been playing for many years, many times, every time is different. And Morbito was a very good one. There is something very spiritual there. And I know a friend of mine named Oraito, who is a French designer. His dad actually made the concept of Morbito. That's their house. So I had this connection, this friendship connection with the place.
Yeah.
Ito called me yesterday, or texted me saying, please come to say hi to the family there. I might not have time, but... And I discovered Sardine, where I played this weekend.
Yes.
First time I played there.
Wow.
And sincerely, when they told me you have to play to Sardine, I say, Sardine? What is Sardine? Sardine is, I don't know, this is the same word in English. This little fish?
Yeah.
Same word in English?
Can of sardines, we
Sardine?
say. Yeah.
Say, what a name. That doesn't sound very fresh. That's the fresh fish,
Right.
But sardine is actually very good for the body. So, on another hand, I felt, okay, let's go there.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I was very surprised. Because I think it's a new club. I mean, how they built it is quite new.
Yes.
And there's like these rice fields behind. They make a lot of attention on the nice full moon behind me. Mm-hmm. Some cool light and projections too. And the crowd was great, which is obviously the most important thing. You could be the best DJ in the world, but if the crowd is not connected with you, or if, it's a bad day, as a DJ, bad day for them, sometimes you have no clue why a party is exceptional, good, bad. There are really no rules. And I had to say, the party at Sardine on Friday was so good. Because very eclectic crowd.
Yes.
I could see all range of people.
Yeah.
And that's what I love,
Yeah,
Bali. I love to have people a bit like who want to be their quiet place in the tables. The others who want just to be crazy on the floor. Some want to jump. Some, like all this make it very particular. And it was a mixed crowd between locals and people from all abroad, which I like.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, cool. Glad you had a good time. I came about halfway through your set. Music was pumping. It was a nice sonic journey. You took the crowd on from what I heard. Had a nice cool ending, like cruise control, brought us back down.
Always.
Yeah. It was really cool. And shout out the whole Cabana crew, because I didn't go for a while to Sardine and La Toilette. And the upgrades they've done there is phenomenal, like night and day from the first time I went there. And I just love the fact that you can have this cool, modern, cool designed venue and nightclub experience, but to have it whilst in front of a traditional rice field in Bali, like it's such a cool contrast.
Sublime.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to be also at the brainstorm of the team when they decide to call the club Toilette. So close to Sardine, you have toilet clubs. And then if you look at the floor, you have a toilet, like a disco ball toilet turning. I think must be hilarious teamwork when brainstorming to say, okay, we're going to do this. And just, when you enter, like, they say, we usually say what happens backstage, say stay backstage.
Yeah.
And they did write, what happens toilet, stay toilet.
Yeah,
like
true. Yeah, I love it. It's super clever, it's creative, so shout out them. Great job. Cool, man. So honestly, the 20, 30 minutes we had to spend before we hit record was cool. Got to know you more. And there's a whole bunch of questions that I have. But I want to go back because in preparation for these interviews, I like to read bios, look at discographies, understand the origin story a bit. And man, it was written online, so it's got to be true, that you are considered a pioneer of techno music in France. And I went and looked on Beatport and saw like one of your first few releases, 1998. And I listened to a song called Rag. I listened to a song called Bel Air Street. And it was like proper techno music, man.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, the oldest I am, the slowest the BPM is.
So you start fast and then slow down as you rise in age.
When I did start, I was a kid of rave parties. People forgot today, but it was impossible to dance on techno music. It was forbidden. In France, in Europe, especially also in England, authorities cancelled all the parties we were organizing. So I was organizing parties in abandoned factory or in fields or whatever, and the police always stopped us. And I always ended my nights at the police station of the neighborhood because it was impossible. Like, there was even a law in England saying more than 2 or 3 people dancing on electronic music was forbidden. So every new big musical trend always had the same kind of experience. Could be jazz, rock, always has been the same thing. This music is retarded. We need to forbid it, and nobody can listen to this. So, of course, when I was 18, and when I see all the police trying to arrest me and stopping, that gave me even more energy.
Wow.
So I keep pushing.
Yeah.
I keep pushing for years. And long story short, then during many years we struggled. But then the mayor of the city one day called me and say, okay, what can we do for the youth? I was living in Lyon at that time in the middle of France. And they told me, we need to do something. Okay, sure, give us the key of the cities and we will organize a big rave parties, which became a festival named Nuit Sonore. And nowadays Nuit Sonore might be 100,000 visitors and dancers for a week of festival. So it has been from really struggling to being supported and to make a festival successful today.
Yeah, I mean, to think of the idea that in 1998 the authorities did what they could to shut down raves and electronic music and not allow the culture to grow, and then to think of where electronic music is at now, it's like, I would say it's at the forefront of culture, sure. and everybody's loving it and supporting it. And
when my girlfriend at that time invited me to meet the parents, they lie about me. They couldn't say I was a DJ.
Wow.
Introduce you to my boyfriend. He's a DJ. they would say, "Oh my girl, what did we did with our with our education with you?
Yeah.
How comes you're dating a DJ? No, it's not, daughter. No, please." And nowadays, if you come to, oh, your boyfriend is a DJ. What a good choice, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's it really changed a lot.
Wow.
But also the music changed a lot, and it's true when people said I'm a pioneer. I'm not sure I'm a pioneer because people were before me, you know, in the scene. In France, especially Laurent Garnier was the real mentor and pioneer. But it's true that I did like a lot of music with the Detroit scene, and Detroit music has always been something very special for me. You know, I did a remix for Underground Resistance, which is like one of my favorite label ever, run by Mike. And when I was a kid, I was collecting 2 or 3 pieces of each vinyl of Underground Resistance, and that was like the growl, you know.
Yeah.
And Man Mike was the opposite of today: no image, no communication. They were playing with with masks, like nobody knew, kind of hooligans of techno, but so kind. They were so kind, and the music was most of all very authentic, very subtle. With few machines, they were doing something very romantic in a way. And I really loved this label. So the day I could make a remix on Underground Resistance was fantastic. Or my love story with Detroit was very strong since the first record I bought was Inner City.
Inner City, okay.
Big fan, and it was a major hit in the countries. And one day Kevin Sanderson, so I was 12 years old. One day Kevin Sanderson called me, maybe 15 years after, asking me to remix it. So imagine the first record you buy, could be Madonna or whatever, and then one day the artist called you to remix it. I was like, very, very honored, you know, by this, and they welcomed me in Detroit like very nicely every time. So Detroit is a place very particular, you know, like Motown, of course, Stooges, Eminem, so many artists coming from Detroit, so many. There is something a bit like in Bali, you know, like something a bit spiritual, particular in these kind of places.
Yeah.
I wouldn't compare the life in Bali and Detroit, but about this, I won't say cosmic, but something very grounded there.
Wow, love it. I actually haven't been to Detroit yet, but I would love to go. I know music is there. I'm pretty sure there's some super famous like recording studios there. A lot of great talent comes from there. Yeah, it makes sense. Wow, cool, man. So just one more question regarding, like, let's say 1998 versus now. Your mindset at that day and age when you're approaching music, trying to build a career versus, say, the way you're approaching music and your creative output now. Where was your mind at in 1998 versus 2025 on how you see the industry?
So, in a way, it's the same. In 99, I was thinking, okay, I'll do this for 5 years because then, anyway, it will collapse. And now that I'm getting older, okay, 5 more years, then I will be tired.
Wow.
You know, but it's true that I never thought about making career. Never thought. Like, I always wanted to play and to be in parties, and so I was sending my demos like through postal letters, cassette, CDs to people, say, hey, listen to this. And one day the agent of Jeff Mills and Carl Cox in France said, I like your demo. So he made me play in Paris. So for me it was like, play in Paris, guys, you know.
Yeah, huge.
But really, step by step, it was, my career always been very, very ongoing, not like a huge peak or huge, because I'm not also looking for the fame, which I think nowadays we can say that artists look for the fame. They want to be famous very fast.
Yeah.
I'm not judging it's bad or not. It's just like the way it is nowadays. You need to be very famous fast to be visible and to get booked and to. So the only thing I might see as a change that worry me a bit is the artist is not so much an artist, is more an artistic director. Because when I started, like the artists, we were trying to make everything with the machines, the drum machines, cables, MIDI file, whatever. We were like really improvising, and that like an artist doing like a sculpture, you know, with our hands. You know, we were really in studio, working and spending time and losing on mine and not managing to do any good tracks for months sometimes. Whereas nowadays, like, the artist is more coming to the studio, say yes or no, I like or I don't like, and it's more like a director artist.
Wow.
But I'm not saying this for all artists, but it's impossible to be on tour 200 gigs a year and release a track every week. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
An artist can't do this.
Right.
And also, I'm a bit also skeptical about the fact of showing everything, because we need we need mysterious thing. We need something to desire. If you show everything, and if you, like, I don't know, if you're in a private jet showing, oh look, I do a track in a private jet, it's so good, look, boom, it's out. Who believes that?
Yeah.
Really?
True.
Or maybe you might be touched by God that day and it's going to be great. You made it in 2 hours in a private jet, it's going out, fantastic. Happens once.
Yeah.
So the thing is, we want too much to show, we want too much to get the attention, get the approval, make people desire your life. Whereas I think as an artist, like, what do you want to say? What do you want to express? How do you want to contribute to a scene where you want people to lose their mind on the dance floor, or do a track that's really, there's something I say to the young artists sending me demos for my label, say, it's a big pleasure to make music. And we don't speak about the main thing. It's a main pleasure to be in a studio. It's a main pleasure to lose your time in a studio. It's a main pleasure to, okay, sometimes you will struggle, nothing will be out in 2 weeks, nothing good. Fine. Because these 2 weeks will actually teach you that the third week you will do something magical because you had like this struggle during the first 2 weeks. So there is something like emotional, spiritual in making music. And the main thing we should say is not that we have 5-star hotel or private jet or being booked here and there, is I had so much fun and pleasure making music. That should be the message, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I love it so much, and I'm so glad that this organic moment is coming up, because the one thing you said about an artistic director, I think it's so true, because even on a personal level, not saying I'm famous at all or anything yet, but what I have to manage day to day, it's a multitude of different things. I mean, even just speaking fundamentally, managing the Instagram feed and planning content takes a majority of time, or even planning these podcasts and everything, and it leaves a fraction of the time to focus on music. So it really makes sense, this analogy of, it's not even an analogy, it's probably truth, that it's artists are more artistic directors pointing and saying, this is how I want to organize things and I want to look, versus actually sitting there with, let's just say, a hypothetical brush and paint at the canvas. And one thing that I always look for, a special moment in the podcast with the guests that I'm speaking with, and you had said that there's a lot of joy in just sitting there and making the music. And in a time where we're so quick and short-minded that we're focused on the next thing and chasing the big thing and looking cool versus trying to become cool via the art, it reminds me that I need to keep clocking in my hours on a daily basis, working on my sound, because super transparent moment, like I'm spending a lot of time talking to other producers, getting them to help put their hand on my music, and while they're doing their best, I don't feel that it necessarily reflects what I want to put out sonically. And I've realized now, having had these experiences working with co-producers and stuff, that as much as they're great and they are helping me get tracks finished, it's not expressing and saying what I want to say. So it's reminding me now through this conversation that I want to slow down and not focus on forcing myself to put out a song every month, but rather take this year, 2025, to really focus on cultivating my own sound as an artist.
Much better. And I guess, like, trying every day to look cool or to make people think that you're the coolest, this doesn't make you feel cool.
It's true. It's not
and
fulfilling.
So this doesn't make you feel cool. That make you feel insecure, frustrated, unsure, because you're always trying to configure things to look. Maybe sometimes you can be cool by yourself and fine, but constantly showing that you're the coolest is like a dangerous propaganda, I would say, for yourself, for your body, for your mind, for your soul.
Yeah, completely agree. And I think that people can sniff that out. They know if you're just.
I guess so.
Yeah. Cool. It's a great point. One of the reasons I was excited to have this conversation was that you're not just a DJ and producer. You're very multivaried, multi-medium, creative, to simply put it. I've seen and read you've scored and worked on music for movies. You're here playing your own music, performing as a DJ, exhibits at Art Basel, and some super cool stuff you were showing me on the phone of visual art that you've done. The first question I have is, out of all of the variations and ways of art forms that you've expressed yourself, on the totem pole, let's say, what would be the ranking of the most important or what you love the most? Let's say from top to bottom, would music sit on the top? Would visual expression? Tell me a bit about that.
It's impossible, I would say. I don't think there is. Some artists sometimes saying there is a major art. There is like for some painting is the major, for some other writing. I don't know. For me, it's I feed my music and my art answering to each other. I used to do music like, for example, if I was doing a very techno song or ambient album, it was in answer to what the music I did before. I wanted to do something different. So every time I was going in studio, I tried to do, okay, I did that. Now I want to do something different. Mm-hmm. And now that I did so many different kind of music in the 30 years or 25 years of career, so you know, I did track with Tricky, with Nene Cherry, with Peter Murphy, recently with Nile Rodgers. And now, so maybe I need to express outside of the music field, which doesn't mean I stop making music. I just released a new single named Nero with remix by Birds of Mine, Manu, Kekura, artists that I really like. And it's still on me, music, but I also want to experiment diverse things. Because I worked with a contemporary artist named Philippe Pareno, mm-hmm. and I worked with him on the sound for exhibition in the Tate Modern in London, Armory Park in New York, Paris, and other places in Italy. And I really learned about how he was doing the concept of his exhibition. And so I started to work with scientists, I started to work with coders, and we developed crazy projects that make me one day, maybe 2 or 3 years ago now already, Musée d'Orsay, which is the most beautiful museum in the world for me.
Wow.
Really incredible museum. The architecture, the collections. Mm-hmm. So it's Van Gogh, Renoir, Monet, Rodin. Beautiful. There is only painter, only sculpture. And one day, they called me saying, Seb, we would love you to give us the interpretation you could on our collections, please. But I'm not a painter, and I'm not a sculptor. So right. When there is only sculptures and paint, I was like, oh my God, it's going to be vertiginous to think about something. So it took me a lot of time with my friend Johan Lescure and my friend scientists to come with ideas to pay the legacy, the respect of what is displayed, because you don't want to put screens everywhere, you don't want to put sound everywhere, there is no screen, there is no sound.
Yeah.
So how can you manage that? So I did a sculpture, like a 2-meter sculpture. Looks like in gold or in bronze. And this sculpture is actually a QR code destructured. And when the light is aligned on the sculpture, the shadow of the sculpture draw a QR code on the floor. And when you enter in the room, sometimes the light is aligned and you can see the QR code, sometimes not. So sometimes you're like, nice sculpture, but you don't see the QR code and you go to the next museum room. Yeah. But when you see it, you can actually flash it. And when you flash it, it invites you to breathe into your phone. And when you breathe in your phone, you will see that you will create a piece of art. We manage this through what we call neural network. It's let's say it's AI, to make it simple.
Yeah.
It's a code. There is no image, no film. We encoded some classic paints of the museum, and the fact of breathing reorganize every point to one moment aligned with the real paint.
Wow, so cool.
But maybe we can show you.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely get some visuals on the screen here for people to watch. One project before I forget that I saw you post about, and I just said, why am I surprised? Because I see you do so many cool different things, was I think it's called the 48-hour bag.
Oh yeah, I did that long time. Actually, a few years ago.
Okay.
Like it's for the brand Courage.
Okay.
I love Courage. The minimalism and the classicism of the brand. Beautiful dress for women, sublime. And so I was music director for the brand. So I did some compilations and I did a bag, like the 48 hours bag. Like, you know, as a DJ, most of the time you go for a weekend for 48 hours.
Yeah. It's
So
cool.
what would be the perfect bag?
Yeah.
And what do I need in this bag? How it should be done? It was a very good experience to work on it.
Wow,
very good
cool.
experience.
Yeah, it looked nice. So wait a second. This project, it was done a while ago and
Yeah.
it's already been released?
It's always
okay.
yeah.
Cool. Very nice. Sticking on this topic of AI, in other interviews I saw with you, clearly you're quite passionate about it. And one thing that I liked, and correct me if I'm wrong, your perspective on it is that, and I love it because a lot of people are getting scared that this technology is going to replace humans and take away work and stuff. But the way that you talked about AI and the integration of it is to look at it as a tool that we can leverage, and if we can learn to live with it, it can maybe make life more simple. It can create new avenues, obviously, of ways for us to create and express ourselves. Given the fact that this podcast has a lot of aspiring and upcoming DJs and producers, if we could simplify and step back a bit here and think about some fundamental ways that we can start integrating AI into our personal lives and professional careers, where would be that entry point? I mean, I asked ChatGPT the other day, I said, hey, I'm a DJ and producer, I have a growing personal brand, I have a podcast. How do I start learning about AI before it overtakes me or something like that? And it gave me a couple different apps to download, but the response to me was a bit rudimentary and fundamental. I felt that it was just telling me ways that I can schedule my social media and stuff like that, but I feel that there's way more things I can do with it. So in your mind, let's say for a DJ and producer that wants to start using the technology, where would be a good place to start, in your opinion?
There are so many things to say about this topic.
I knew it.
So let's start with, I think AI should be used not to replace what we are doing as artists, but to give us inspiration to do things we couldn't do before.
Okay.
So AI should be used to make things that as human I can't do. For example, I just did a project named Gateway with Madison McFerrin, Nile Rodgers, and Bronze. This is a software, AI software named Bronze.
Okay, Bronze.
Every time you press play, you will have a new version of my song. It means I put my song in Spotify, my own version. But every time you're gonna press play, a new version will be discovered by myself, by everyone, and I have no clue how it will be developed. Meaning that the music for the first time isn't static anymore. Music evolves, and there are some variations of the songs that are infinite. So if you love my song that much, you can listen from now till you're dead, forever, and it will constantly rearrange, reproduce the whole song.
Cool.
That's something I couldn't do before AI. I couldn't play with Nile Rodgers for hours till I'm dead.
Yeah.
Or I couldn't change the song. I think in the next months or next years we might have the song adapting to who we are, to the room, to the emotions, to the soul. I think it's closer than we think. And what I'm very afraid though, is most of the time AI is very badly used, I would say. For example, it's dangerous for artists to think that Spotify at the moment is Spotify or every distributor's like putting so many AI songs in the playlist that the revenue share for artists is diminishing a lot. Because if you put an AI song, nobody will get royalties. Perfect. So you do a playlist with 50 songs, 5 are original from artists, 45 from AI,
Yeah.
you only pay 5 artists, but on the basics of an average of 50 songs in the playlist. So it means that artists might get robbed very soon, and it will be very difficult for a newcomer or someone, who just start to listen to music, to make difference between artist making his own music or an AI made the music. It's very easy, like more and more to create music today. There's so many more music, and it connects with what I said before, but we need more mystery. We need more mysterious. We need more sacré. Music is sacré.
Yes.
And when you show that everything is easy, you lose this desire. We need music to be rare again. Not to do like a bad joke with Trump propaganda, but we need to make music very rare again. Like when you were looking for a vinyl, sometimes you wait for 1 year or 2 years before to get the vinyl.
Yeah.
Nowadays, in 1 second, any song, you can have it, listen to it, and okay, fine, I got it. You pass to someone else. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm saying the way it is, you consume the music so fast that you lose all his not beauty, but his character of being very special.
Yeah.
Because the desire you had for it is very, very short compared to before. And there are so much music that is really redundant. Because, okay, someone made a hit. Okay, 95% want to do the same hit. It's fine. This is how it works.
Yeah.
But still, now all these artists will be replaced by AI. So let's say that maybe the last side positive effect will be that artists will go back to be artists themselves and make things that AI won't be able to think first, because like people also doesn't really understand how AI works. But AI is not like it's medium answer, so it means like everybody put informations and it gives you the medium answer. It's not like if we are like 10 in a room discussing together, we won't have a medium answer, because we will be 10 in the room thinking what will be the best solution, and sometimes we change his behavior, his mentality, his feeling. So the answer won't be at all the same if we're 10 in a room speaking than 10 in a room giving an information to an AI. The answer will be very different. So it's not a collective intelligence, it's a medium average intelligence. So what I'm really focused on now, it's developing a local model where we can say that an AI can say no, for example. I would love AI to say no.
Yeah, it's always...
I would love an AI to be able to be a bad student,
True.
We need really to make very attention for next generation.
Yeah. So in your opinion, like practically speaking, how do we, in a time where content is king, and if you're not putting out enough, people are forgetting about you, but then the whole point on the opposite end of the spectrum where we want to get back to having things more sacred, or let's say exclusive and more rare, what's the middle ground in your opinion? How do we, draw back to keep things special and more sacred, but at the same time not go so far back that people are forgetting about us? Because if you don't put anything out for a year, you're kind of easily forgotten if you don't already have some sort of status and fame.
I think between the excess of releasing every week and once a year, there's a middle point.
Okay.
But I would say consistency.
Yeah.
And I would say not being dramatically afraid of not being on the map for a few months. It's okay.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But I agree, it's getting more difficult because the total ecosystem is about how artists can be paid, how promoters can be paid. Promoters need to sell tickets.
Yeah.
The people who want to buy the tickets, they follow what the marketing tell them is good and fame on Instagram. So there's so much investment to made some marketing for artists that you only see them. Okay, you bet for them, you go to see the show for them, and some artists who are struggling because they don't have maybe yet the management team, they don't have maybe yet visibility or enough money to get visible, they will struggle a lot. Where, for example, when I started, it was not like this. Definitely not. Like, if you were a good DJ, the promoter will call you back. Nowadays, it's not because you're a good DJ the promoter will call you back. It's because you will sell tickets.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure all the promoters are happy about their bookings. A lot of my friends who do festivals and parties sometimes say, we did this, and it was crazy amount of tickets sold. I'm not sure they were really happy with it. Sound-wise.
Yeah.
But I would say that consistently, it's normal. Always have been trend. There have always been moments where things we didn't expect were very successful. And meantime, this is a trend and it will change. So I would say to everyone, be patient. I know the world at the moment is to make everything available very fast, and it's difficult to be patient. But I'm here I'm almost 50 now. And if you tell me when I was 20 that I would tour the world so much I wouldn't bet on it. So give you time.
Yeah, I love that. And it leads me into something I want to talk a bit about. I feel that artistic expression and marketing are now married. They're both equally important because you can develop yourself online and have a huge following and all of this stuff, but if you don't have good product, or in this case, good music, you won't necessarily go too far. And then on the opposite side, you can have great music, but if you can't present yourself well online and in a cool way, nobody's going to follow you. And speaking about you having your first song or one of the earlier songs come out in 1998, now we're here in 2025, you're still actively touring and very relevant in the scene. I wanted to ask you, how have you managed to find your own way to express yourself in a unique way? I was looking at just the banner picture on your Spotify. It's so cool, and it shows how creative and how expressive you are artistically. What are some of the things that you've done to find your own sound, your own image, and carve out the Agoria brand?
So on the Spotify is actually an AI artist, a friend of mine who made it.
No way.
I collect the piece because I think it was really cool.
It's phenomenal. It's so cool, dude. We'll bring it up on the screen because it's so cool.
It looks like I'm coming from a Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah.
I was just actually in Cannes. I saw the last Wes Anderson movie in Festival de Cannes a few weeks ago. You need to evolve with the most important is evolving, of course, with trends, evolving with what's happening, but keep being as much as authentic as you can. Okay. So I'm not saying you will be all your career 100%. Sometimes you will be flirting with lines, and it's okay. But being the most authentic about who you are to yourself, the message you want to deliver, the music you want to share.
Yeah.
When I play as a DJ, I always only play the music I like. Music I think need to be defended. Next year, actually, I will do the number 100 of my label Sapiens 100. So we're gonna release a lot of newcomers. So feel free to send me demos. I will release a lot of new artists.
Okay, cool.
To push them during this year, where we're gonna make a lot of marketing and promotion on tour to show the music that we won't be able to release every week, but we want to release quite a lot of artists.
Amazing.
From everywhere in the world, so feel free to send it to me. And that's how I feel also I can give back, because electronic music gave me so much the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's also my way now to put the light on some artists, help them, Sometimes people say, but why don't you ask, a new remix to Solomon or Black Coffee or big names just to make Okay, I could, but I want to push new artists. I really want to help them growing and with my little power to show music we should defend.
Wow, I love that, man. It's a great vision and great mission. Sticking on
it's a bit of mission, I try.
Yeah, for sure it will be, but fulfilling and purposeful. Okay, so two things I don't want to forget. I want to ask you about a YouTube set that I saw, but one thing I want to stick on, this is for personal reasons too, coming back to trying to find your own unique sound and speaking about workflow and the approach to music production. How do you think an artist can go about finding their unique sound? I mean, obviously there's the fundamental aspect of sitting there and putting their own and putting in the hours, let's say 3-4 per day, sitting at the PC, working with the plugins and the VSTs and testing and working on things. But how do you think an artist can find their own unique sound? What's the best way to go about it?
For sure is hours trying to make sounds things not perfect. If you try to make it sounds perfect, it will sound like all the sound. If you try to use plugins to do things that were not supposed to be used like that, or the way you produce them, if you put some elements really overmixed, I think it's good. Or if you use elements that are not supposed to be drums but sounds like drums, it's good. Like for the very classic story about the TB303 that has been used as an acid machine. That was a drum machine first.
Right.
Any plugin anything that maybe not very successful that you feel comfortable with, that you know how to use also kind of simply. When it's too overcomplicated, you will lose your process.
Yeah.
You need, when you're in studio, of course, the beginning is spending hours, make it sound as you want sonically.
Yeah.
Because our music is not extraordinary melodic. It's not like incredible composition. It's about the sound. How you make it sound very specific. And the best record for me are minimal records, like I don't know, Mark Ernestus, for example, this kind of people from Berlin, or Carl Craig, and very few elements.
Yeah.
But it sounds very, very, very incredibly well that you could listen to this for hours.
Yeah, I love that.
And this is I think the most difficult to achieve. When you have very few elements, 4, 5, 6 elements, or if there are even more elements but you don't hear them, also it's very good, because it means that you worked on some part of the sound, spectrum sound, you put maybe some really subtle white noise, and also very subtle low sub bass, and make the sound altogether better. You don't hear them, but they are there, and that makes the sound very, very impactful, let's say.
Yeah.
I think hours in studio, that's the key.
Yeah.
And then I think also I'm not the best example to speak about doing always the same kind of not sound but music. For example, Jeff Mills, I'm a big fan of Jeff Mills. He did most of his career the same kind of music.
Right.
Even if the first album were kind of art techno, or real techno, on my career, always different kind of music.
For sure.
So my thing is I've been very diverse. Sometimes I'm sure I've been a bit shocked, or wow, where is it going?
Yeah, it's true.
Which is fine. I mean, that's my personality, and I feel good with this. I could have done 10 times the Scala song on Inner Vision and build on it, or I could have done for every generation, have the chance that I did hits every 5 years that they keep making me relevant. This is a chance. That's also maybe an answer to your previous question about how you maintain this. Every 4 or 5 years, if you do a song that is getting emotionally attached to many of the crowds, you will be here for a long time, I guess. Yes.
Yeah.
Now at the moment it's the cover I did for Spacer that is played everywhere, remixed by a lot. So, and for example, I did songs I thought they would be it. They were not. Yeah. It's very difficult to predict. Even if maybe if you invest a lot of marketing, you can make a hit from this, but you can do it once, not so many times.
Yeah. It's come up quite a lot on this podcast that a lot of times when people have hits, they said we had no idea. it was going to be received like this by the world. It's kind of like a black box, and you open it up and you don't know what's going to happen.
But when you're in studio, if you feel good in studio about what you did, it's already amazing.
Right.
It's the best present.
Yeah.
It's something unique for a person. You're in studio and you find something and you make something.
Yeah.
You're like, oh wow, that melody is good. Oh, that's great. Most of the time when I finish a song, that's my best song ever.
Yes.
Which was not always the case, I admit.
Right.
But every time I'm like, oh, it was the best,
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess it's like, I read somewhere, or it was in a movie I think I saw, and it says something about there's no ordinary moments in life. And maybe the project that you finished that time where you said it's your best song wasn't on the Billboard charts, but that was a special, fulfilling moment for you.
For
and
sure.
that's what
true.
life's about, right?
That's all true.
Yeah.
On my last album, Unshadow, I was really happy because I collaborate with so many different artists. Dominique Fils-Aimé from Canada, which I love her voice, beautiful voice. Nile Rodgers, that is, of course, the legend. Many French did songs with him, but I'm one of them now.
For sure.
Or the hip hop singer Rome Fortune, which I think is fantastic. I love to also. For me, it's a good feed that when I'm in studio with artists, because it pushes me. That's also a motivation on top of it.
Yes.
You want to do a good song with him.
Right. Cool. Yeah, I like that because, it puts a bit of healthy pressure on you because you're in the studio, you got this talent with you, got to make something good.
Don't ruin our time.
For sure. Cool. Before I forget, I want to talk about a YouTube set came out approximately 7 years ago with Circle. And I think it aligns with everything you're saying, where you play the music you want to play, taking people on a sonic journey. And for me, that set, it's almost like you're listening and watching a movie because it had a very dramatic intro. It wasn't like you just played a hit song right away. And the real interesting thing that I wanted to bring up on the interview, I didn't want to forget it, was that for me, that set wasn't song for song. It wasn't about going from left to right. It was a true sonic journey. I mean, there was emotion. It felt like climactic with the more intense song. There was one part where it was like, I feel like I'm cruising through the desert, like you've got like cruise control in the car and you're just going through it. And then as per usual, similar to the Sardine set, there was a descending time where you brought people back down. How is Agoria preparing for a set? How are you organizing? What are you thinking, and how are you putting together your songs when you're getting ready to go do a performance?
I was used during many years to do all night long sets.
Okay.
Playing 5-6 hours is the best because you can really go deep in preparing, frustrating the audience, bringing the audience to the peak, keeping them to the peak, and then let's say slowly finding some more light, let's say like this way. Now nowadays we play 2 hours, and also for my ears I try not to play that 6 hour sets too much.
Right.
But
it's long.
For the ears, yes, it's too long. But 2 hours, I can still think managing this kind of drive, I think there is good music in every niche. It could be like house, could be techno, house techno, even melodic or hip hop. There's good music everywhere. So I'm listening every week, new demos, of course. And so every week I maybe include 10-15 new tracks, and I take out 10-15 new tracks every week.
So you also remove. Okay, got it. Cool.
I mean, I have some folders and organize with the styles.
Yeah.
But I love also to surprise the audience. If I play only banger, cool. People say, it's amazing, Yeah. But I've done my job. Because it's very easy to play only bangers and get everyone like this. It's super easy.
Yeah.
Let's not lie to everyone. It's if you manage your set, if you build your set with bangers and bangers and bangers, easy, fantastic. But that's not being a DJ. Not at all. A DJ is someone who first has his own favorite tracks that he wants you to listen, to discover that he just received, or maybe a classic or whatever, but something that he wanna share with you. And on this magic thing of reading the crowd, for example, at Sardine, I felt after 1 hour it was so damn hot in this place that people needed to breathe. So I put a new song I will release of Rose Ringed with a big break where he says, "Set me free," he sings "Set me free," like beautiful.
Yeah.
And people were like, satellites, you know?
Yeah.
There's something if you can't plan. You can't plan, like, is the AC will work? Will the people arrive early? Will everybody will be like this? You don't know. Who is the dealer? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't decide what is before, unless if you go to a festival, for sure. Festival, very massive festival, 40,000 in front of you with only headliners. You can't do that. You can't.
Right.
Because now everything is so much calibrated that you can't take the time. People will feel, you know, the energy need to be at a certain level, and you play for 1 hour. Too difficult. That's why you play in club, like for example, 1,000, 1,500 capacity is perfect. I love that. That's my favorite part is 1,000, 1,500 people.
Nice.
Where you can take the people.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. I love that. There's one thing, if I think I heard you correctly, you said frustrating the crowd.
Yes.
Like a little bit, like just
you need
not giving them what they need, not giving them that pump.
I mean, when you make love with your wife, will you go to the climax first second? That would be boring.
It should be a journey.
Take your time.
Wow, I love
and
it.
It's the same with music. It's the same with your DJ set.
Dope analogy.
If you give everything now, where will you end?
Yeah.
And how can you end this?
Yeah.
Do you think you will maintain this orgasm for 2 hours? Yes, but maybe you will be like saturated.
Yeah.
I don't know, like you need to, even on the floor, of course, you need some elegance.
Wow.
Step by step.
That. Yeah.
Step by step.
Yeah. Amazing gems.
In France, we say les préliminaires. You will Google that.
Yeah. I'm going to check it out for sure. Nice, dude. Cool. Well, as we work our way towards the end of the podcast, there's always one question I like to ask at the end, because as I mentioned before, tons of upcoming artists and creatives that are looking to learn from people that have as much experience, knowledge, wisdom, and success as you. So my question is, and let's kind of give this some context. So if you can think of you as an artist back when Rag and Bel Air Street came out, 1998, you think of 2025 where, man, we just opened up the box of AI and everything. Given where artists are at now and trying to break through, leveraging these technologies like social media and AI, and also wanting to maintain integrity and maintain that sacredness of being an artist and putting out music, what are 3 gems of advice or wisdom you could give to these artists to apply to their careers? Let's say, for example, you're back in your hometown now. You got your local residencies, you've released on a couple local labels, but you're thinking not necessarily big fame, but more success, going international, making more of an impact. What are a few gems of wisdom or advice you could give to these local artists that want to go more international?
So I was kind of critic about AI before when I spoke about it, but let's also speak about the beauty of AI. You can very easily build all your wish world, you know, meaning you can you can go to very different websites, Stable Diffusion or of Runaway, or this kind of thing, very easy to use, where you can build your image, build your video clip, associate your music to it. You should use AI nowadays not to be lazy, but to increase your artistic vision.
Cool.
Because the easy thing would be, okay, I wanted to do a track like sounds like Agoria, ba 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 ba. But most of all is, no, you do your song yourself in studio, you have the pleasure to do your song yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe one day you will use AI to help you for melodies or for harmonies or to replace things. This is happening already, and that will be great. So, but to use it in a very creative way. then because now you save time, you took this time, you go to Stable Diffusion, to Runaway, to others, and you say, okay, what kind of image, what kind of video, what kind of photos I want to go, and then maybe you will add, okay, now how can I transfer this if I want to do an exhibition? What will be my purpose to do art exhibition? Because now I can do the art, the sound, the vision, the music. What will be the concept? What I want to share. I think we lose the main thing is we are not here for the fame. We lose the thing of what do we want to express? Do you want to express to show you're famous? Or do you want to express something that, what do you love in music first? What do you love in art first? What do you want to tell us? You know, this is the thing that is the most important. Like when the musician say contact me, I was like, what can I do? I'm not a painter, I'm not a sculptor. So we really think for 1 year before to come back to them and propose them what was the project. And we were not sure it will work, but you know, like you need to think out of box. And sometimes go into the real world, meet the people, never forget to meet the people, build your network.
Yep.
On
Love
top
it.
of it, that's the main thing.
Cool.
You need to party with your friends.
Yes.
And speak about your AI thing, your visual, your art concept. You will be good.
Cool. I love it. So many gems. Appreciate it, man. Well, I appreciate you being here today.
Thanks for the present too.
Yeah. Shout out Kenny Parker. You guys are the best. Forever rocking it. Bro, I want to take a moment to acknowledge you. Like I said, I was super excited getting ready for this interview to do this because I love how you haven't limited yourself, kept yourself in a box whatsoever. You freely express yourself creatively, and you've given a lot of gems of wisdom and inspiration to myself and the audience out there. And dude, I'm so excited to see you in Universe this summer. Yes. I'm glad that our dates are going to time out.
Oh yes, please.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate this podcast together in Universe in mid-July now.
Wow. Can't wait.
Thanks for your time. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
thanks for listening. And don't forget, send me a demo. Take the time to make it.
Yes.
Be patient. It's going to be good.
So good. Guys, thank you so much for watching Brodie Nero TV. If you're getting some value from this, please leave a comment. Your feedback is appreciated. And subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Much love.